After defeating the yellow-haired guy, Sung Yoon acquired the achievement, Iron Blood Climber, and obtained 1,500 points. As the time limit expired, the challengers who had captured the tile celebrated their survival of the trial. Many individuals began earning murder achievements at the trial's onset, yet ultimately, those who emerged victorious were the ones who maintained their teamwork. Of course, there were exceptions. Sung Yoon wondered if he appeared monstrous in the eyes of others. The system congratulated Sung Yoon for completing the 6th floor of the Tower of Trials, rewarding him with a random gacha box sent to his inventory and 8,000 points. Before moving to the lobby, he absorbed the souls of the 4 players he eliminated, causing his unique trait, Necromancy, to reach 100% proficiency. Consequently, its rank increased to D rank. Upon entering the lobby of the 7th floor, the achievement viewing function activated. Sung Yoon was surprised to see an S-rank achievement titled, The First Returner. Curious, he attempted to examine the details of the other achievements. He realized that he had acquired numerous achievements through his acts of murder. Each achievement he gained also came with various rewards, such as skills, stats, points, and more. Sung Yoon opened his inventory to inspect the random gacha box he had received, containing a random item ranging from F to B rank. Expecting little, he reminded himself not to anticipate much from the contents. His primary focus was to retrieve whatever item lay within and continue with absorbing the souls. Upon opening the box, a small green monster leapt out, surprising Sung Yoon. He pondered its significance and whether he was supposed to capture it. Sung Yoon moved swiftly, attempting to catch the little monster, but it proved elusive, dodging several of his attempts. After numerous tries, Sung Yoon finally managed to seize the creature, only to be met with a sharp bite on his hand, causing tears to well up in his eyes. The pain made Sung Yoon release his grip, allowing the little monster to escape. With determination, Sung Yoon warned the creature that he had been lenient due to its cuteness, but now he would pursue it with full force. As the monster attempted to evade Sung Yoon's pursuit with agile jumps, Sung Yoon unexpectedly leapt above it, delivering a powerful punch to the top of its head. The little monster took a critical hit and shattered into pieces. In the aftermath, Sung Yoon discovered that he had obtained an item of the highest rank from the random gacha box. Recognizing that the best rank available was B rank, Sung Yoon realized the item's classification. Sung Yoon examined the item he received from the random gacha box. A wrought iron pendant. It boasted the ability to enhance metallurgy and sword skill effects by 7%. Intrigued, Sung Yoon decided to test it out. Activating the exclusive effect of the pendant, he experienced a transformation. His skin developed a property that absorbed 10% of all physical damage. Sung Yoon marveled at the remarkable qualities of the wrought iron pendant, realizing it surpassed the capabilities of many A-rank items. With both offensive and defensive properties, it proved to be an overpowered asset. Initially not expecting much, Sung Yoon found himself in possession of an exceptionally amazing item. However, his amazement was short-lived as the exclusive skill of the pendant, Iron Protection, suddenly deactivated. It dawned on Sung Yoon that the skill consumed his magic power at an alarming rate. Recognizing the need to conserve his magic power, he resolved to use the pendant only during critical moments. As Sung Yoon attempted to check his unique trait, which had advanced to D rank, a system notification interrupted, asking if he wished to enter the trial on the 7th floor. Perplexed, Sung Yoon wondered if there was no waiting period before challenging the next trial. Turning to the community chat to gather information, Sung Yoon discovered that everyone's wait time had disappeared. Surprisingly, nobody seemed concerned about the vanishing wait time or the pioneer benefits. They simply wanted to return home. Sung Yoon pondered whether this lack of interest stemmed from the majority being low-ranking challengers. Moreover, he observed that the atmosphere on this floor differed significantly from the 6th floor. The murderous individuals likely kept quiet, realizing that standing out held no benefit in the upcoming individual trial. Recognizing the potential threat posed by the remorseless murderers who killed their teammates without hesitation, Sung Yoon resolved to be cautious. Above all, he understood the importance of honing his unwavering skill. Regardless of the circumstances, upon examining Necromancy, now upgraded to a D rank trait due to his experiences on the 6th floor, Sung Yoon noted its revised effects. Its basic function remained unchanged, the ability to absorb the souls of the deceased to either bolster or restore his stats and magic power. However, a new additional effect had emerged, the capability to utilize a soul as a shield to protect his physical body. Yet, Sung Yun observed that the basic effect had become more specific. Previously, it seemed to enhance only his basic stats, but now it extended to augmenting his magic power, or providing a shield as well. Expecting the likelihood of absorbing a skill to increase, Sung Yun found himself in need of a defensive ability. Summoning his dagger, he aimed to test the effectiveness of the soul shield. Aware of the lobby's recovering effect, even if his arm were severed, Sung Yun remained undeterred. As the dagger made contact with his arm, the soul absorbed the injury, causing one of the souls he possessed to vanish. With his tally now reduced to 3 out of 30 possessed souls, Sung Yun couldn't help but feel pleased with the outcome, realizing it exceeded his expectations. Consequently, Sung Yun made a decision not to absorb all the souls he encountered. It seemed wiser to reserve some for use as shields, enhancing his defensive capabilities when needed. Upon noticing that his rank on the trial leaderboard had dropped by 1, Sung Yun felt a twinge of disappointment. However, he reminded himself that maintaining a high rank wasn't crucial. His primary goal was to secure a place within the top 50 to earn the title of Pioneer. Feeling bored with testing things in the lobby, Sung Yun decided to take advantage of the absence of wait time and proceeded to the next trial without further hesitation. The 7th floor's trial subject was revealed to be Verification, with a completion time of 40 minutes. To pass, Sung Yun had to complete 3 trials within the given time frame. The reward for success was an A-rank skill called Wind's Grace. Transported to a corridor vastly different from previous trials, Sung Yun felt annoyed by the apparent lack of anything to interact with. However, his frustration was short-lived as a sudden light engulfed him, transporting him to the area of the first trial. The system promptly informed him that he needed to demonstrate that he had overcome his fear. Transported to a desert landscape, Sung Yun observed as a sand golem emerged from the ground. Recognizing the setting as reminiscent of the tutorial trial, Sung Yun speculated whether this trial aimed to make him revisit 3 trials he had already conquered. Confident in his ability to defeat the sand golem effortlessly, Sung Yun pondered whether this meant he could swiftly progress to the 8th floor. However, as the sand golem fully arose from the desert sands, Sung Yun couldn't help but be taken aback by its colossal size. Comparing it to his previous encounters, he estimated it to be 3 times larger than before. As the sand golem prepared to launch its attack, Sung Yun summoned his sword and shield, bracing himself for the impending battle. When the sand golem swung its massive hand towards him, Sung Yun swiftly leapt onto its hand and began climbing towards its head. However, upon reaching the top, Sung Yun couldn't locate the core stone, the sand golem's vulnerable spot, as he had anticipated. Perplexed by its absence, Sung Yun speculated whether it lay deeper within the golem's body due to its increased size. In an attempt to fend off Sung Yun, the sand golem reached out with its giant hand, but Sung Yun retaliated by slashing at its fingers, severing them with multiple strikes. Unyielding in his determination, Sung Yun resolved to dissect the sand golem if necessary to locate and destroy its core stone. Despite his relentless assault, however, Sung Yun's actions only served to further enrage the sand golem. As the sand golem sat and then abruptly leapt, Sung Yun found himself in a precarious situation. Though adept at dodging, the scattering sand threatened to bury him alive, igniting his frustration. Determined to retaliate, Sung Yun activated his skill, 3 Lacerations, enhancing his sword attacks to maximize cutting power. Swiftly, Sung Yun launched simultaneous strikes at various parts of the sand golem's body, unleashing a barrage of slashes. Reflecting on the recent invasion of his floor by a knight, Sung Yun couldn't help but wonder if he should thank the intruder. Despite the golem's ability to regenerate using sand, Sung Yun remained undeterred. Each time the golem reconstructed itself, he resolved to continue slicing it apart until he uncovered its elusive core stone. After all, the persistent attacks from the sand golem provided him with ample opportunity to hone his skills. Yet, despite his relentless efforts, Sung Yun found himself drenched in sweat, frustrated by his inability to locate the golem's core stone. Suddenly, something caught Sung Yun's attention. Surprised, he addressed the sand golem, remarking on its unexpected cuteness. Blushing at the unexpected compliment, the sand golem's cheek flushed in response, marking the first time it had been called cute. Observing that the sand golem's size was diminishing due to the limited availability of sand in the environment, Sung Yun couldn't help but notice the irony. Playfully, he proposed to the sand golem that they embark on a diet together. However, the golem showed no interest in the suggestion, prompting Sung Yun to refocus on the battle at hand. As the sand golem attempted another punch, Sung Yun swiftly countered by kicking its fist and delivering precise slashes to its body. With each strike, the golem shrank further, eventually reaching a size small enough for Sung Yun to spot the core stone on its back. Though struggling against the thickness of the golem's body, Sung Yun persisted in his efforts to locate and destroy the core stone. Feeling the pressure of time ticking away, Sung Yun decided to expedite the conclusion of the battle. However, he couldn't help but be amused by the sand golem's increased agility after its diet. Tempted to prolong the encounter for the sake of amusement, Sung Yun recognized the urgency of the situation and swiftly ended the fight by destroying the core stone on the sand golem's back. Sung Yun emerged victorious, proving that he had overcome his fear. The first trial has ended. After Sung Yun pulverized the sand golem, a bright light illuminated the area, revealing the golem's soul. Despite his attempts to absorb golem's soul, Sung Yun found himself unlucky as he failed to extract the soul, much to his annoyance. Disappointed by his inability to increase his proficiency, Sung Yun was promptly transported to the location of the second trial, where he was tasked with proving that he had overcome his own wisdom. Upon arriving at the next area, Sung Yun immediately recognized it as the orc village from the second floor's trial. As expected, the trials from previous floors were materializing before him. Stepping outside the hut, Sung Yun's gaze fell upon multiple hunter orcs, reminiscent of his actions during the second floor's trial when he had destroyed the orc village. Sung Yun couldn't help but wonder if what he was witnessing was the aftermath of his previous encounter with the orc village. As the hunter orcs glared at Sung Yun with trembling anger, they began to go berserk, a phenomenon that occurs when monsters become enraged. These creatures were no measly E-rank monsters. Aware of the danger posed by berserk orcs, Sung Yun couldn't help but lament his misfortune. As the orcs charged towards him, intent on attacking, Sung Yun recognized that they were simply expressing their pain and grief over the loss of their family. Activating the skills, Instant Acceleration, and 3 Lacerations, Sung Yun swiftly charged towards the berserk hunter orcs. With precision and speed, he eliminated them one by one, leaving only a lone survivor. Taunting the remaining orc, Sung Yun reminded it that it could do nothing but watch as its family perished before its eyes. Enraged by Sung Yun's words, the remaining orc attempted to retaliate, but Sung Yun swiftly ended its life. With the second trial concluded, Sung Yun wasted no time in absorbing the souls of the fallen hunter orcs. As he did so, his proficiency increased by 6%, bringing his total number of possessed souls to 19. As Sung Yun prepared to enter the area of the third trial, he received notifications indicating that his Hunter Dagger skill had leveled up to D rank and his skill, Instant Acceleration, had advanced to D rank. Encouraged by his progress, Sung Yun braced himself for the next challenge, where he would need to demonstrate that he had overcome his hesitation. Arriving in the next area, Sung Yun recognized it as the Capture the Area trial from the 6th floor. Realizing that the trials were typically drawn from the lower floors, Sung Yun assumed that this trial would be a replica of the 3rd floor. Disappointed by his own expectations for logical progression within the tower's trials, Sung Yun acknowledged the folly of assuming rationality in such a place. Sung Yun opened his inventory and utilized a health potion to replenish 20% of his stamina and magic power. After consuming the potion, he casually tossed the empty bottle into the seawater, idly contemplating the idea of polluting the Tower of Trials. To his surprise, certain sections of the water surged upward, lifting the tiles. Sung Yun couldn't help but speculate that the phenomenon was triggered by his action of discarding the bottle into the water. As the effect of the Assassin's Cape was triggered, Sung Yun's movement speed surged by 15%. With only a minute of heightened agility at his disposal, Sung Yun wasted no time, sprinting forward in search of the red, captured tile. The key to passing the trial. Empowered by his increased speed, Sung Yun felt confident that he could outpace any obstacles. However, much to his surprise, the tile he is stepping on suddenly rises, causing Sung Yun to inadvertently make contact with the water. Consequently, all of his stats are reduced by 10 for a duration of 3 minutes. Sung Yun had assumed that the tiles would burst in a logical sequence, but he quickly learns not to expect such coherence from the Tower of Trials. Activating the skill, Instant Acceleration, he leaps from one floating tile to the next, anticipating his path towards the elusive red, captured tile. Despite his progress, he can't help but wonder when this vexing trial will come to an end. Suddenly, a twisting torrent of water with pointed edges materializes, relentlessly pursuing Sung Yun with no regard for strategy. Desperately, Sung Yun attempts to evade the onslaught, realizing that he's nearing the end of his endurance. Before reaching the captured tile, Sung Yun was struck from behind, triggering the exclusive effect of the wrought iron pendant, Iron's Protection. This ability absorbs 10% of all physical damage inflicted on the wearer's skin. Additionally, the soul absorbing the harm meant for the user, the Orc Hunter's soul, is obliterated. Sung Yun was certain he had felt the shock, but the shield had protected him just in time, deflecting the damage. Rising to his feet, Sung Yun persisted in his sprint towards the captured tile. However, his luck took a turn for the worse as the 1-minute duration of the Assassin's Cape expired, deactivating its exclusive effect. Now devoid of mana, Sung Yun realizes he's in dire straits, knowing that he's doomed if Instant Acceleration is also deactivated. Sung Yun summoned one of the souls and consumed it, replenishing his magic power by harnessing the essence of an Orc Hunter's soul. With renewed strength, he dashed forward, but his path was abruptly blocked as the water surged, lifting the tile in front of him. With no apparent escape, Sung Yun's desperation grew. He instinctively covered his face and leapt into the tumultuous current before him. The powerful torrent propelled Sung Yun skyward, causing another Orc Hunter's soul to be obliterated in the chaos. As he was hurled high above, Sung Yun found himself unable to defy gravity, plummeting back towards the ground. He crashed onto the captured tile, annihilating yet another Orc Hunter's soul. With each sacrifice, the number of possessed souls dwindled, now down to 12. Sung Yun reached the captured tile, causing the water to cease its assault. His arrival signaled the end of the trial, demonstrating that he had conquered his hesitation. The system congratulated Sung Yun for successfully navigating the challenges of the 7th floor of the Tower of Trials. As a reward for his achievement, he was bestowed with the skill, Wind's Grace, and granted 15,000 reward points. Additionally, the item, Fast Boots, was sent to his inventory as an extra reward. With his prizes secured, Sung Yun proceeded to the lobby. Sung Yun couldn't shake the feeling that this trial, in essence, equated to failure. With this realization, he couldn't help but feel apprehensive about what awaited him on the 8th floor. Luck alone wouldn't suffice anymore. 1,000 people had already completed the 7th floor's trial. The system's expansion had begun, bringing forth developments Sung Yun had eagerly anticipated, a skill shop, a trial junction, and the possibility of permanent returns. Additionally, a floor-invading system had been activated. While these were significant advancements, what mattered most to Sung Yun was his designation as a pioneer on all floors, affording him the ability to select his halo. Sung Yun learned that a halo, granted to those appointed as pioneers on all floors, offered unique benefits such as special traits, skills, and effects. The system issued a warning to choose carefully, prompting Sung Yun to ponder whether the Tower of Trials had ever provided advice like this before. This realization led him to believe that the halos held a deeper significance, one that he couldn't afford to overlook. Upon inspecting the halos, Sung Yun first read the description of each. The ruler stood out as a halo that adjusts according to one's performance, influencing all abilities and unique traits. This seemed to resonate strongly with Sung Yun, as if the Tower of Trials itself was indicating which halo suited him best. Next was the Hunter, a versatile halo that appeared adaptable to anyone's needs. While not displeasing to Sung Yun, it didn't evoke the same resonance as the Ruler. Lastly, the Monk halo, heavily influenced by talent and perseverance, didn't appeal to Sung Yun, leading him to dismiss it outright. Now faced with a decision, Sung Yun weighed his options between the Ruler and the Hunter. Upon selecting the Ruler halo, Sung Yun felt a surge of energy as the unique effect of the halo initiated the evolution of his unique trait. Choices emerged, categorized based on Sung Yun's current abilities. Summoner. Utilizing absorbed souls, powerful undead skeletons could be raised. Magic Swordsman. Both swordsmanship and magic proficiency would increase, and related skills could be learned 3 times faster. Creator. Skills centered around item creation would improve, and related skills would be acquired at an accelerated rate. Sung Yoon opted for the Summoner path, resulting in the addition of the unique trait, Necromancy. Some effects were adjusted, accompanied by the incorporation of additional effects. A unique authority known as skill synthesization was also created. Sung Yoon felt a surge of satisfaction as he finally possessed a halo. Eager to explore its capabilities, he examined the unique authority, skill synthesization. Its effect was astounding, the ability to synthesize any 2 skills. Notably, when the chosen skills differed in rank, the higher-ranked skill would prevail as the core skill. This revelation thrilled Sung Yoon, as it meant he could potentially craft powerful new abilities from seemingly insignificant ones. With determination, Sung Yoon delved into his skill list, seeking out abilities he rarely used. Settling on Extinction of the Weak and Combat Continuation, he proceeded with the synthesization process. As the synthesis concluded, a new skill emerged. Sung Yoon was taken aback by the outcome as the skill, Forceful Breakthrough, materialized with a surprising D-rank rating. Expecting an E-rank skill, this unexpected development left him both astonished and exhilarated. Eager to test its capabilities, he wasted no time in experimenting with the newfound skill. He selected 2 more F-rank skills and initiated another round of synthesization. Upon completion, Sung Yoon received a skill named Strengthened Eyes, now with an E-rank rating. This skill granted enhanced vision, allowing him to see clearly even in obscured environments. However, the 2 F-rank skills only ascended by 1 rank following the synthesis process. Sung Yoon noticed how the synthesis worked. The combination of the 2 skills before, Extinction of the Weak and Combat Continuation, proved quite effective. However, the combination of Ranger's knowledge and fire resistance isn't as impressive. It's evident they aren't very compatible, as Sung Yoon received the Halo reward for his unwavering dedication as a consistent pioneer. A sense of strangeness washed over him. Doubts crept into his mind, questioning whether his achievements were truly earned through his own efforts or merely a stroke of luck, aided by his good trait. Shaking off these intrusive thoughts, Sung Yoon examined the rewards before him. Sung Yoon eagerly examined his new skill, Wind's Grace, and its capabilities. This skill offered a remarkable enhancement, increasing all speeds by 10%. What's more, Sung Yoon could stack it up to 7 times, potentially boosting all speeds by a whopping 70%. Even better, this skill didn't drain his magic power and had no discernible disadvantages. Turning his attention to the fast boots, Sung Yoon discovered their benefits, an additional 3% attack speed and 5% movement speed. Sung Yoon couldn't help but feel pleased that all the rewards from the 7th floor revolved around enhancing his speed. Sung Yoon entered the skill shop and perused the offerings, noticing that the available skills were not particularly high-ranked and came with hefty price tags. Despite the cost, he recognized the urgent need for a magic-type skill and decided to make the purchase. Among his acquisitions were Instant Acceleration, a skill crucial for his mobility, and Mana Circuit, and Mana Resistance, to bolster his magical abilities. With Mana Resistance, Sung Yoon's body developed a resilience against mana, providing greater protection against adversaries' magical attacks, including formidable skills like Heart Solidarity. As the Mana Circuit skill took effect, magic power began to gather within Sung Yoon's body, forming intricate circuits. Initially, he felt a surge of heat coursing through him, but as the reconstruction of his body progressed, he noticed a newfound lightness, indicating the successful integration of these skills into his repertoire. Standing at the center of the room, Sung Yoon tested the newfound strength bestowed upon him. The magic power he recklessly used had strengthened his physical abilities after the circuits were formed. Satisfied with the tangible improvement in his physical abilities, he couldn't help but acknowledge the wisdom in his recent purchases. Despite his curiosity regarding the capabilities of his new summon, Sung Yoon understood that its true potential could only be revealed in the actual battle. Contemplating his next move, he realized a decision needed to be made. Whether to press forward and confront the challenges of the next floor's trial or to return to Earth. Sitting on a bench, a hunter named Lee Chiaowon posted on a party recruitment notice board. He was seeking tanks, healers, and hunters, but received no applications. Moments later, a group of hunters approached him, noticing his lack of party members. They requested that he grant them access to enter the gate. One of them explained that if the dungeon raid didn't commence within the allotted time, the grant would automatically expire. He warned Li Qiaowen to prioritize his own interests and simply hand it over. In response, Li Qiaowen firmly declared to the persistent group that he had no intention of handing over the grant. Amidst the gathering of hunters in the park, the persistent individual interrogated Li Qiaowen about the lack of applications to join his party. Bluntly, they attributed it to his low E-rank status, insinuating that no one wished to associate with a hunter of such low rank. This harsh reality check from the annoying individual was a stark reminder of Li Qiaowen's perceived inferiority. However, their conversation was interrupted as another hunter suddenly expressed interest in joining Li Qiaowen's party. Introducing himself as Sung Yun, a C-rank hunter, he presented his identification as proof. Li Qiaowen, acknowledging Sung Yun's license, responded with a resounding affirmative, signaling the possibility of a new alliance. As the annoying individual placed his hand on Sung Yun's shoulder, he questioned Sung Yun's awareness of the situation and suggested he read the room. Undeterred, Sung Yun responded with a confident smile, teasingly suggesting that if the individual felt jealous, perhaps he should consider applying to Li Qiaowen's party himself. The annoyance in the individual's demeanor escalated, his anger palpable as he threatened Sung Yun's life. Unfazed, Sung Yun calmly issued a warning of his own, instructing the individual to remove his hand immediately before he broke it. As a potent aura emanated from Sung Yun's body, the annoying individual instinctively withdrew his hand from Sung Yun's shoulder. Surprised by the sudden display of power, he began to question whether Sung Yun was truly just a C rank like himself. The other two comrades of the annoying individual were amazed by the incredible aura and mistakenly attributed it to the annoying individual. Attempting to save face, the annoying individual made an excuse, stating that since there were people from the Hunter Association present, he would let the matter go this time, and warned Sung Yun that he was lucky. Feeling frustrated, Qiaowen questioned why things were going wrong right from the start. Sensing the mood, Sung Yun suggested to Qiaowen that it appeared they wouldn't be able to recruit anyone else. Therefore, Sung Yun proposed they head in now. Qiaowen questioned whether Sung Yun meant just the two of them. Sung Yun and Qiaowen entered the dungeon, with Qiaowen finding it hard to believe they had actually gone in. Sung Yun reassured him, saying there was no need to be so nervous because he could handle most D-rank monsters. He also mentioned that this was his first real dungeon experience, since the Tower of Trials wasn't a typical dungeon. Qiaowen explained to Sung Yun that raiding a dungeon meant putting one's life on the line. He wanted to convey to Sung Yun a truth often overlooked: between an E-rank and C-rank hunter, the C-rank hunter actually had a higher chance of dying. While people commonly assumed the weaker E-rank hunter was more at risk, in reality, the confidence of C-rank hunters often led to their downfall. An E-rank hunter was aware of their limitations and thus tended to be overly cautious. Conversely, a group of C-rank hunters were brimming with confidence, which increased their risk of danger. Qiaowen drew a parallel with driving, explaining that excessive confidence often led to a higher accident rate. Dungeons are far more perilous than one might imagine. Qiaowen voiced his concern, knowing they had entered such a dangerous place without a tank or support. He worried particularly about Sung Yun's unwavering confidence. Despite being just an E-rank, Qiaowen had extensive dungeon experience. He proposed himself as the leader of the party. Sung Yun, although desiring to lead from the front, acquiesced, assuring Qiaowen it was fine. Qiaowen expressed gratitude for Sung Yun's understanding. As they pressed forward, they stumbled upon a lizard man, renowned for their adept weapon skills. Qiaowen felt uneasy about facing such formidable opponents. He informed Sung Yun that he would draw the aggro first and then signal for Sung Yun to attack. Sung Yun, recognizing the opportunity to learn from an experienced hunter, decided to observe Qiaowen's approach carefully. As the lizard man began to move closer, Qiaowen surprised Sung Yun by merely sizing up their opponent, appearing unfazed by the approaching threat. Having only 3 days left on Earth since his temporary return, Sung Yun realized that if they were struggling with a lizard man from the beginning, he needed to intervene. Activating instant acceleration, Sung Yun swiftly eliminated the lizard man in one decisive move, leaving Qiaowen in shock. Sung Yun explained that he was in a hurry and had helped out of necessity, requesting Cholwan's understanding. Understanding Sung Yun's urgency, Qiaowen accepted his offer. Sung Yun expressed his desire to take the lead from now on, standing at the forefront of their endeavors. As they continued their journey, they encountered a group of lizardmen, but Sung Yun effortlessly overpowered them all. As Qiaowen watched Sung Yun in action, he couldn't help but think that this was becoming nothing more than a one-sided massacre. He began to entertain the idea that he might truly be witnessing the fight of a super rookie, someone whose skill and prowess would shake the foundations of the Hunter Society. After defeating the lizardman, Sung Yun extracted the magic stone from its body, recognizing its value in metallurgy or alchemy. Qiaowen carried all the collected magic stones in a backpack, apologizing to Sung Yun for feeling like nothing more than a pack mule. He expressed his willingness to yield more of the profits if Sung Yun desired. As they conversed, another lizardman launched a surprise attack from behind Sung Yun. Reacting swiftly, Sung Yun evaded the attack and delivered a powerful punch that sent the lizardman flying to the cave's roof. Sung Yun replied to Qiaowen that they would discuss it outside, emphasizing the need to maintain focus to avoid further danger. While pretending to yawn, Sung Yun absorbed the souls of the defeated lizardmen, each increasing his proficiency by 0.7%. With such a substantial increase, he realized it would now be challenging to further improve his proficiency with D-rank monsters.